Hello, world. Hello, sports fans. Matt Frank here of The Sports Show, giving you guys episode 5. Now, I am coming to you live, folks, from Yakima, Washington. And yes, this is the 5th episode. Thank you so much, guys and gals, sports fans of all kinds. Thank you for participating with me each time that I put something online. I really appreciate it. Coming from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. So, keep the whole thing rolling. Keep the dice rolling, peoples. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Subscribe to me, people. It makes me feel good. The Sports Show with Matt Frank. That's the Sports Show with Matt Frank. And on Twitter, Sports Show Matt. That's Sports Show Matt on Twitter and on Facebook under the awesome name my parents gave me, Matt Frank. People, we got a great episode for you. I got a lot of fun things I would like to share. News, sports, what's going on in the sports world. Hit me up, people, wherever you're at located in this place called planet Earth. You need to holler at me. Represent, wear your hats, wear your shirts. I want to know who you're representing, who is going to rock it this year. We're going to find out. We're going to see who are the true sports fans out there in this world. So, let's start it off with the Dirty 30. If you're not familiar with the Dirty 30, I will give you 30 seconds of the news, the sports, and the dirt going on in the sports world. It's pretty simple. Get your clocks ready. You're going to time me if you'd like. It's free entertainment, folks. So, you ready? Let's do it. USC head coach Steve Sarkisian dropping the F-bomb at a prep rally. Later on, apologizes for it, says it's alcohol and prescription medication behavior. We're going to talk about that. Russell Wilson claims recovery water helped him recover from a concussion he got from Clay Matthews hitting him last year in the NFC Championship game. We'll talk about that. IK and Ninkapali. Now, if you guys haven't heard the story yet, I will tell you all about it. Stay tuned. NFL preseason injuries. Who is out? Who is in? Who's affected? We'll go through it. And what is a fall guy? What is a fall guy? That is the Dirty 30, and we're just gonna jump right into it right now. What is a fall guy? Now, if you have not seen this or heard this already online, Cris Carter goes to a rookie symposium last year, but somehow the conversation and his words is now posted a year later. I'm not sure if this is just an interesting timing by the recent events going on in the league. It is kind of ironic, but nevertheless, Cris Carter goes to these rookies and tells them that if you want to go out with your boys and go out and party and go to the club and have a good time, you must have a fall guy, meaning you must have a guy in your group or a person in your group taking the fall in case something happens, as in if someone gets arrested or there's illegal activity or something's going to go down, then someone needs to take the fall for it, and that is what he's trying to implant in these players' mind. Now, these guys are rookies coming into professional sports with awesome energy and excitement, and here a veteran adult player who's already been in the league is trying to give them these one-ups and these tips on how to get past situations that they shouldn't even be in the first place. Cris Carter, bad news, dude. I usually don't boo a whole lot of people, but of course you're getting a whole bunch of slack for it now. Everybody is booing this guy for his words to these rookies. And like I said, I'm not really sure why it's coming out now, but it is, and that's just what it is. You got to take responsibility for your actions. Speaking of those actions, head coach of the USC Trojans, Steve Sarkisian, goes to a prep rally, getting his team excited, getting everyone all geared up for the season ahead of them. And he's a little bit drunk, a little intoxicated. It's clear. He's a little wobbly, slurred speech, and he drops the F-bomb and just kind of makes himself look kind of goofy. Now, he has already apologized, but then he's also saying that a undisclosed medication that he's been taking mixed with alcohol is the reason why he's got these issues, or at least showed them during the prep rally. Now, what's interesting about this story is school officials are now saying that USC cannot have any alcohol inside their locker room anymore, which means that they had alcohol inside their locker room prior, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Now, usually in the sports world, if you win a championship or in some kind of a sporting event, you have champagne, you pop the bottles, you're spraying it everywhere, and you're cheering along with your fellow teammates. But it kind of sounded like these guys had alcohol, or at least the coaches did, available inside the locker room. Hey, I know it's a little bit stressful, but you don't really need to drink inside the locker room, especially in a college setting. Another no-no for the adults out there, and it shows you now their quarterback, Cody Kessler, who came off an awesome season last year for the Trojans. He came out with a corporate response. It's not like he's going to go and throw his coach under the bus. He needs to support him and have a nice corporate, even neutral response apart with this matter here. But it's interesting. I find it very, very interesting. But folks, awesome story. Well, I wouldn't call it awesome. It's just a very entertaining and interesting story. IK Enemkpali. Now, if you're not familiar with that cool name, he's not so cool these days because he's the guy that dislocated Geno Smith's jaw, the potential possible starting quarterback at the time, which is a few weeks ago, for the New York Jets. Geno Smith is out. He's not going to be starting or playing until several weeks in the regular season. So Enemkpali was booted from the team. Rex Ryan, who was the old former New York Jets coach, goes to Buffalo and then just takes IK Enemkpali to his team. I'm not sure if that was just a direct move just to irritate Jets organization and Jet fans, or just the NFL in general. But Rex Ryan takes him aboard, but then of all the things of bad things that happened to this guy, he is being sued. Now, why he's being sued is very interesting. IK Enemkpali, which I love saying his name, by the way, he goes on Facebook. Now, this is a while ago. He was actually before he was drafted to the NFL. He goes on Facebook. He encounters a woman, and the woman becomes very friendly with him and invites IK Enemkpali to her house for some favors. And he said okay and shows up at this house to get these favors, and he gets some bad vibes because the person who invited him turned off all the lights of their house and is underneath the covers and won't really reveal themselves to Enemkpali. So he leaves. IK leaves, right? So he leaves. Somehow, I'm not sure what's going on in his mind, which kind of all makes sense now. But he decides that he got talked into it or whatever, changed his mind, goes back to the house and to do whatever. And he realizes, and it's revealed, that this girl is a dude who poses as a girl named Missy online on Facebook, and she was a he, and IK Enemkpali punched this person, knocked their teeth out, and leaves, right? The police are involved. There's a police report on this, and now this person is striking at the right time, is now suing IK Enemkpali for knocking his or hers teeth out, and she posed as Missy on Facebook. So people, be careful on Facebook, and by golly, if someone invites you over to their house, you may want to look into it a little bit more than IK Enemkpali did. So not only is he in the news for punching someone's jaw out, now he's in the news for punching this she invite story. And then he also has it's been reported, this is not old, or this is not new news, but he punched a police officer while he was in college. Whew, why the NFL even spends time, money, and energy on people like IK and Nimkampali blows my mind. But the San Francisco 49ers, every single day or week, it seems like either someone retires or gets arrested for off the field conduct. San Francisco 49ers fans, how does this make you feel? Does it frustrate you? Now, here your team is. They got a brand new stadium built for them in Santa Clara, California, and it's going to be the home of Super Bowl 50. Your team is falling apart. Your coach, Jim Harbaugh, who's probably just ecstatic that he doesn't have to deal with this crap that's going on in San Francisco. Now, I'm not sure who's taking the responsibility there, or if they're hiring people to get in there who makes these players, act not only professional on, but off the field. We see it every single year. Stars acting like fools, okay? The biggest fool story that I have ever known was Plexico Burress. There's another fun name. Plexico Burress used to be a player from the New York Giants. After winning the Super Bowl that year, he's out there. He decides to go by himself, okay, to a club, and he shoots himself accidentally with a loaded gun that he brought inside the club, causing him to not only have a gunshot wound in his leg, but he also gets arrested for bringing a loaded gun inside of a nightclub, which is a no-no. He was arrested, he was suspended, and it's just such a bonehead move. And I don't understand. It seems like, now there's a lot of sports stars who get in trouble, but it seems like NFL professional football players somehow, some way find themselves in a lot of trouble. We've had murder cases, sexual assault cases, burglary, robbery, substance abuse. None of it makes any sense. It really, really doesn't. You even have some upcoming stars like Winston, and who are bringing a lot of baggage to the league already, and it seems like the league has got this weird persona about it. You got these heroes, these athletes and role models, and then you got these out-of-control animals with a whole bunch of zeros in their paycheck. It's weird. It's entertaining, but it's weird. What else is going on in the sports world? Oh, yeah, we got sports trivia. I'm just going to get it out of the way, right? And I want to hear from you, sports fans. I want to hear, and actually I want to see, or whatever. I want to witness your guys' awesomeness, either in a video clip or a text response or a comment online on the answer to this awesome, easy, but yet difficult, challenging sports trivia question. Are you ready for it? You can Google it if you'd like. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I had to Google it just to make sure I got the answer right. The question is, sports fans, in the NFL, which defensive player has performed the most sacks, accumulated sacks, on a quarterback of all time? Who is the sack king? If you know, let me know. Now the reward is either it's going to be a 50-50 coin flip. You either get $1 million or a high five. Hey, it's up to you guys. $1 million or a high five. I'm going to flip the coin, and we'll find out on the next episode if anyone out there has got this right. And I would love to hear from you guys. Which NFL defensive player has had the most accumulated sacks of all time? Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on YouTube. You can hit me up on Twitter by contacting me on Sports Show Matt. That's Sports Show Matt on Twitter. The Sports Show with Matt Frank on YouTube and on Facebook under the awesome name my parents gave me, Matt Frank. This is episode 5 of the Sports Show. Thank you for listening. Contact me, sports fans. Wear your gear. Get going. Preseason football, week 3. It's kicking off. Major League Baseball, didn't really talk about it this episode. You got to be psyched, baseball fans. Astros, Mets, Yankees, Blue Jays, Pirates, Cubs. You got to be loving it. I'm loving it too. We're going to get going on the next episode real soon. Stay tuned. Episode 6. Thanks for being a part of it. Peace.